The Sochi Winter Olympic Games are drawing near, but first today, an Eastern Conference battle from the nation's capital with two teams surprisingly scuffling for a playoff spot.
For Ovechkin, a shot, he scores!
Alex Ovechkin has goals and gold on his mind.
This guy just can't miss.
And another NHL goal-scoring title in his sights. Today, the Red Wings are the challenge at hand, as two teams battling for a playoff spot meet for the final time this season. From Washington, the NHL and NBC presents the Red Wings and the Capitals in the second half of a home-and-home with huge playoff implications. Hi everybody, welcome to the NHL and NBC. I'm Gord Miller. Surprisingly, both the Washington Capitals and the Detroit Red Wings have dropped out of the top 8 in the Eastern Conference. But for a dozen players in the two teams, there's something else to think about. The opening ceremony for Sochi is just 5 days away. The Red Wings had 10 players named to Olympic rosters. One of them, Johan Franzen, has had to withdraw due to injury. Another, Pavel Datsyuk, hasn't played for Detroit since the Winter Classic on January 1st. 3 Capitals are going to Sochi, led, of course, by Alexander Ovechkin, and including goal-scoring defenseman John Carlson, who's heading to the Olympics for Team USA. Carlson logged 31 minutes in that shootout loss to Detroit on Friday, standing by with our Joe Micheletti.
John, you played and lost in Detroit on Friday night. What has to be better today?
I think we need to get the puck deep and get some more pressure going on our offense so they can't break us out that easy.
The Olympics are close. How does it feel to represent the U.S.?
It feels pretty good. I mean, it's an honor, and just looking forward to getting over there in another week here.
Thanks for doing this despite the stick.
Carlson and the Capitals come in with just 4 wins in their last 17 games. Starting goaltenders this afternoon for the Red Wings is 29-year-old Jimmy Howard from Syracuse, New York. Stopped 26 of 29 shots in the game Friday night. Michael Neuvirth comes back again for the Washington Capitals. Faced 45 shots. Allowed just 1 goal in the shootout, but that was the one that decided it. And away we go with Jay Beagle moving ahead for the Capitals. Brooks Light out of the Washington lineup was injured late in that game on Friday night. Been battling an abdominal muscle issue all season long and back to last year. And now Beagle with it. Throws it back down low to Troy Brouwer. Leaves it there for Marcus Johansson. And Johansson being watched by Cromwell. Centers it, and a quick shot by Brouwer is turned away by Jimmy Howard.
And that's a good start for Washington. They talked about getting the puck into Detroit's zone and going after it. And this is a good save by Howard because the shot by Troy Brouwer ends up deflecting on the way in right there off a stick. And Howard has to react by getting the pads together so that puck doesn't slither through the legs.
Mike Green is also a scratch for Washington. He was a game-time decision. The defenseman will miss his 2nd consecutive game for the Capitals.
And Gord, he did practice yesterday, stayed on the ice for the entire practice, but obviously that injury he sustained in Columbus still not enable him to play.
Martin Erat back to John Carlson to Carl Alsner. And the pass back in the corner for Erat, who surprisingly has not scored yet this year.
He has 5 goals in his last 92 NHL games.
For a man who has scored 25 in the league before, Erat lost the puck to Henrik Zetterberg. Erat gets it back, tied up by Alfredsson. And Daniel Alfredsson flips that puck ahead for Detroit. And Justin Abdelkader knocks that away. As Daniel DeKeyser has it now for Detroit. And DeKeyser outlets will make his way off on a change. Zetterberg flips it in deep as the puck goes wide, and Neuvirth scooped up by Thomas Tatar. He loses it, and the Capitals are away. Eric Fehr comes jumping ahead. Barron across the line, being watched there by Jakob Kindl. And the puck loose back in front. Thomas Jurko trying to knock it out and can't. Good pressure by the Capitals in the opening moments here. The centering pass goes to Joel Ward. That's knocked away. Connor Carrick with a shot. Ward to the rebound. And Jimmy Howard makes the stop on him as well.
Now this is a tremendous start for Washington. Again, the focus, puck control, getting the puck out of their own zone, and then putting pressure on in the offensive zone. All these things happen in the last 30 seconds. Here's the offensive zone pressure. Good puck support, a miss there, but Connor Carrick, very good offensive player, steps in, all in one motion, he'll get the shot. And Jimmy Howard, he's had to be sharp here early and has been.
Shots in the first period on Friday were 22-5 in favor of the Wings, but Washington scored the only goal in the opening period.
Yeah, and that was also a period, Gordon, where Washington took a lot of bad penalties.
Here's Erskine with a shot. It ticks off the post and goes up and out of play. John Erskine comes close there.
Well, John Erskine, not known to be an offensive player, just one goal this season. And right off the faceoff, clean win. Joel Ward wins it. And Erskine really got everything into that one, off the crossbar and into the netting. Faceoff stays inside the zone because it hit the crossbar.
And the face-off, one back to Erskine. That shot goes off the leg of Aaron Volpatti, the captain. He's got bees in his boot. And Connor Carrick steps back up. The Red Wings, Joe, have been shut out in their last 3 road games.
That hasn't happened since the 1920s. And this will be a nice thing.
Only 3 teams in history have ever been shut out in 4 consecutive road games.
This start has been very good. Very good start. And Mike Babcock, you see him here, he's being active on the bench trying to get his players going. He's going back and forth. He's got a young team. 9th season for Mike Babcock.
Last year, the Red Wings American League affiliate, Grand Rapids, won the Calder Cup as that league's champion. This year, because of injuries, 10 members of that team have been pressed into service at different times for Detroit. Pavel Datsyuk still out of the Red Wing lineup. Hasn't played since the Winter Classic.
Now, this has been a team that's been decimated with injuries all season long to key players.
Now Troy Brouwer tries to tap it back, and here's Brouwer back with it. Crisscrossing with Dmitry Orlov. And Patrick Eaves knocks that away, and it's fired back down to the corner. Eaves scored the shootout winner on Friday night. The first 12 shooters in that game all stopped until Eaves finally scored in the 7th round. Now a steal as Marcus Johansson works in. Johansson centers it, and the pass bounced away from Beagle.
Boy, not a bad opportunity for Johansson to shoot, but he's an excellent passer and always thinks pass first.
Now the puck loose behind the Washington goal as the Red Wings finally get down there. Still without a shot on goal in the game. Daniel Alfredson reaching for it. Knocked away from him, and here's Marcus Johansson on the backhand. Flips it back down to the Detroit zone. Darren Helm fires that down to the Washington end. And from the wrong side of center ice, they'll call that icing against Detroit.
Adam Oates was asked a question the other day about his team and the inconsistencies, and he said the first period in Columbus 2 games ago was the worst period they'd played in over a year. And so somebody asked him, did you get mad? Did you scream and yell? And he said yesterday, he told me yesterday, he said, you know what? In cases like this, you always have to remain yourself. You can't try to be something you're not. He's never taken that approach with his team, and he's not doing it now.
Ovechkin back out there now for Washington. Was -5 in that loss to Columbus last week.
Ed admitted that he was the worst player on the ice.
By far, he said. And Kyle Quincy sets it up behind the Detroit goal. The only Detroit defenseman to play every game this year. And now tipped down in the cap zone as John Carlson picks it up. Outlets for Ovechkin. He's got a point in every game he's ever played against the Red Wings. And was originally credited with the tying goal with 7 seconds to go on Friday. That was subsequently changed the next day to Joel Ward. And here's Abdelkader for the Red Wings. In along with Gustav Nyquist, sends it rink wide. The pass just missed Zetterberg. Sends it back in front. Neuvirth knocked that away. Nyquist a shot. That was blocked by Eric Fehr. He's shaken up. And Nyquist can't hold the puck at the line for Detroit. Nyquist a candidate to replace Johan Franzen on the Team Sweden Olympic roster. Bouncing puck in front. Abdelkader fans on that. And Ward moves it ahead for Washington, along with Chimera and Casey Wellman. Wellman scored in that game Friday night as well. Sends it down on goal. Tipped just wide up the other side. Connor Carrick sends it back in front. Ward gets a shot away. Hit the goal post. Rebound. Score! Jason Chimera from the sharp angle, and the Caps have the lead.
Well, we've talked about the Capitals' start in this game. They're able to carry the puck over the blue line and make a play and go to work and then just not give up. That's Joel Ward. Up the middle, nice little pass. Now Ward does what he does best. He goes to the front of the net, Casey Wellman gets it there, and they just don't stop. This one goes off the post, and eventually Chimera from the other side finds the open net. Great work up front, and eventually they finish it off to take the early lead.
And for the 11th time in the last 12 games, the Red Wings have allowed the first goal of the game.
And that's been an issue for Washington. The way they've started most games and giving up early goals has been a problem.
Red Wings enter play today, a point out of the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. They dropped out of the top 8 yesterday when Philadelphia won. The Capitals are 3 points back in that tightly grouped bunch for the last wild card spot in the East. And once again, the Caps win that race to the puck as it's Beagle on it. And Volpatti comes in to help out.
Capitals just aren't giving Detroit any time to make plays. There it is again. Beagle quickly on the forecheck.
And DeKeyser's clearing attempt was knocked right back in. Now DeKeyser on his backhand has it taken away by Brouwer. And again the Caps are on it. Shots are 4-0 Washington in a 1-0 lead. And Quincy looks ahead. That puck was in the skates of the intended target, Joachim Andersen. Marcus Johansson works his way in. And Johansson spins it down to Brouwer. Throws that back in the corner. Helm there. Leaves it for Jakob Kindl. And Jakob Kindl slides out ahead, knocked in by Andersen. Helm looking for it. And Dmitry Orlov stepped in front of that.
And Detroit without a shot on goal.
And now Helm spins and shoots. It goes off the leg and wide. Tyson Strachan back in the lineup for Washington. Knocked that out, and Kindl fires it right back in for the Red Wings. And Strachan settles things down as Washington in the midst of a change. 6.5 gone in the fast-paced first period. Abdelkader slides it back to Kronwall. And chipped ahead by Nyquist, knocked down by Orlov. Took Dmitry Orlov 3 months to get to the Washington lineup. Now turns it over. Nyquist drops it back. Abdelkader is shot. He hammered it wide. Nyquist back on it. Looks across for Zetterberg. To the point to Jonathan Ericsson. Across to Kronwall. In for Nyquist, bounced away from him, and now Orlov has it, but lost it back to Nyquist. The penalty coming up to Detroit. And the Washington Capitals with the lead. We'll go to the power play when we come back as Jason Chimera has staked the home team to a 1-0 advantage. Back in Washington, Detroit's Gustav Nyquist goes off for slashing.
Yeah, it's been a good start, obviously, for Washington, the 1-0 lead. Orlov had given up the puck once, worked hard to get it back, and then there you see the slash. Nyquist on Orlov. First power play of the game goes to the Caps.
And this power play presented by Ford. Capitals with 44 power play goals on the year. Only St. Louis with 45 has scored more.
And Gord, this is something that the Red Wings spent an awful lot of time on yesterday in practice, working on their penalty kill.
Quincy taken down by Johansson. Carlson works the point along with Ovechkin. And Johansson sets things up for the Capitals. Marcus Johansson down at Chimera. We're also over to scoring Friday night. Now Ward with a shot, scores! Joel Ward, 2-0 Washington.
What that man tried to get his team to do on the penalty kill, as I mentioned, working in practice, and today before the game he told them, be aggressive, don't let them get set up. But there's a trip there that is let go. That allows Washington to take control of the puck. And now Johansson, who is an outstanding passer, takes his time and eventually finds Ward. This shot is deflected and right through the legs of Jimmy Howard. Here it goes right up the stick there. And Jimmy Howard gets a piece of it. Chimera is in front to help out. Joel Ward with the power play goal makes it 2-0.
So it was Ward who got credit for the tying goal late in the game on Friday. The Caps have a 2-0 lead. The Red Wings don't have a shot on goal yet. And Brendan Smith wraps it around for Abdelkader. The pass knocked down by Carlson. So Joel Ward, the number 2 goal scorer on the Capitals, is now only 22 behind the leader, Alexander Ovechkin, as Nyquist fires that wide. That's the biggest goal scoring gap by far in the league, Joe.
Well, Well, when you've got your top man with 38, there can be a little bit of a gap there, but it's been scoring and it's been an inconsistency for Washington.
Now back at the point, Carrick plays it across to Erskine, feeds it back in front. The next biggest gap in the league is in Carolina, where Jeff Skinner leads Eric Stahl by 9. In comes Nick Backstrom with it. Backstrom gets around Brendan Smith. Loose down low is Backstrom. Feeds it back to the point to Erskine. Winds and fires off the outside of the post again. Erskine's hit 2 posts here in the first 10 minutes of the first period.
Now, you talk about scoring for this Washington team. They feel that when they're healthy, that they have enough scoring. They recently went through a drought where they only scored 9 goals in 8 games, but they feel that when they've got everyone healthy and in the right spots, that they've got enough scoring. Their biggest problem has really been defending. And Alex Ovechkin telling us yesterday at practice, here's, again, the league's leading goal scorer, that we have to be better in our own end. We're giving the puck away too much in their own zone.
Look out, bad bounce in front. Here's Ward again. So a crazy bounce off the stanchion in behind the Detroit goal. And now a chance in front. Chimera, who's already got 2 points in the game, has that knocked away. And here come the Red Wings. Thomas Tatar in across the line. That shot blocked by Erskine. And now Thomas Jurko on it, spins and shoots. And Michael Neuvirth gets his first work in the game. Faces his first shot 8 minutes and 52 seconds in.
Well, everything's gone Washington's way to start this. And they played obviously well. Here's the funny bounce and a bouncing puck, and really a real opportunity and a little bit of miscommunication. Joel Ward ended up taking the puck, and Adam Oates' Caps team is off to a terrific start. Boy, they've been on the puck. The puck has not been in their zone much, has it, Gord?
Now tied for the league lead in power play goals with their 45th. And the Capitals for the last 7 or 8 years have lived on that power play. Tyson Strachan sends that ahead. Knocked away from Wellman at the line, and now the Red Wings trying to regroup. But Wilson picks it up, and play is called at the Detroit line. Let's go inside the glass with Joe Micheletti, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Well, the 2 big stars for these 2 teams are obviously front and center as they meet. We mentioned certainly some injuries to the Detroit Red Wings, but when Henrik Zetterberg is in the lineup, you look at his numbers there. He leads the team in points, leads them in shots, but he has that leadership ability. There's not many better 2-way players in the game. And as far as Alex Ovechkin, he's been getting phone calls from Russia. There is a tremendous amount of pressure on him as they get ready for the Olympics in his home country. And he is really taking the time to prepare himself even more as we get ready for the start of the Olympics.
Martin Erat picked up that loose puck, had a couple of chances in front. He's not the only one with Olympic pressure. Zetterberg battling a bad back, being watched closely by Sweden. Of course, Pavel Datsyuk, who hasn't played in a month for Detroit. Kronwall across to Jonathan Ericsson, slaps it down to Zetterberg with a sharp angle shot. That stopped, loose in front. Orlov steers it away. Now Zetterberg back on it for the Red Wings. Feeds it down to Joachim Andersen. One of those 10 Grand Rapids Griffins who has played for Detroit this year. And the Red Wings, who probably draft and develop players better than any team in the league, are having that system put to the test to an extreme this season.
Well, they were forced to use these kids, as you mentioned, Gord, because of injuries. And guess what? They've opened a lot of eyes. They knew they had good players and good youngsters down there, but they have stepped into this lineup and been real good.
In comes Nyquist with it, feeds it back in front, played that up the side of the goal. Nyquist scored 16 playoff goals for Grand Rapids last spring. And now Helm with it. Darren Helm spins off Johansson. And Johansson got a stick back to knock it away. Now Alsner pins Helm behind the goal. Still loose as Helm do-si-dos with Alsner. And now Applicator comes in to help out. Shields off Johansson. And Johansson bounces off him as Nyquist picks it up. And now Nyquist has it taken away by Brouwer. In comes Troy Brouwer. Sends it across. Carlson in, shoots, just missed high. And the puck goes over the glass and out of play. A great start for the Capitals. They lead the Red Wings 2-0 on the NHL on NBC. Now for Edward Jones FaceTime, here's Joe with Capitals head coach Adam Oates.
Adam, the starts of games for your team has been difficult at times this season. What are you seeing that's so much different in this one besides the score?
Well, first of all, we won some draws. that allowed us to get the puck in deep, and we've done a good job on the forecheck. We got a goal from the forecheck, and then we got a penalty from it, and then we scored in the power play.
Thanks for the time.
Thanks.
Adam Oates, whose NHL playing career began with the Detroit Red Wings. He was an undrafted free agent out of college.
One of the great passes of all time, huh, Gordon? I only saw 2 eyes there, but it seems like he had maybe 6 or 8. The way he could pass the puck.
Now Riley Sheahan pokes it ahead for Thomas Tatar. It was Tatar, by the way, who had the 16 playoff goals for Grand Rapids last spring. And Tatar has that knocked away by Eric Fair, gets it back and throws it down low. As Riley Sheahan has it, Erskine steps into him.
Penalty coming up.
And it's going against the Capitals. That'll be for the hit from behind. And as Erskine touches up, the cross check will be called. And Detroit is going to the power play. Expand your hockey experience with the Verizon StarCam on NBCSports.com. Throughout the game, we're streaming a live ISOCam following star players like Henrik Zetterberg and Alexander Ovechkin. The Verizon StarCam available at NBCSports.com.
Again, the puck for the most part in this period has been in the Detroit zone, but Detroit, the last couple of shifts are starting to get involved a little bit. And the good work behind the play, and that'll lead to Detroit's first power play.
And this power play presented by Ford. Zetterberg wins the faceoff back to Kronwall. And now you've got Rauer without a stick, so in comes Alfredson with a shot, kicked away by Neuvirth, rebound, score, Nyquist! And the Red Wings are on the board with their second shot of the game.
Well, Adam Oates talked about face-offs. Detroit is able to get control of the puck off this face-off, and now they've got a little bit of time. Their power play in the month of January was terrible because they weren't shooting the puck. But guess what? Daniel Alfredson, the veteran, who was also hurt for a number of games in January, said we just have to shoot the puck. That's how good power plays work. He shoots it, and there was Nyquist to jump on the rebound and put it in, and Detroit gets to within a goal.
And Joe, Gustav Nyquist might be scoring his way to Sochi. He's got 6 goals in his last 7 games. His teammate Johan Franson had to withdraw from the Olympics for Team Sweden. Nyquist being considered along with likely Patrick Hornquist from Nashville and Marcus Johansson here in Washington. But if Nyquist keeps scoring like this, he might find himself at the Olympics next week.
You know, that's a good point, and I think he will be even a better player on the bigger ice surface because he's an excellent passer of the puck.
So a much-needed power play goal for the Red Wings, who are 4 for the last 55 coming in. Now Carlson bats it down, with a shot, and Jimmy Howard makes the stop in tight on Troy Brouwer.
Troy Brouwer had 19 goals last season in 47 games. He has 10 this year, so he not scoring at the same level, but he's had some chances here in the first period. He just fights past Kronwall there. Kronwall, who's an excellent defenseman, is close to him, but Brouwer uses his strength to get away from him and get a shot.
Now Backstrom with Erat and Ovechkin, the forward line for Washington. And Henrik Zetterberg facing off for Detroit. This was the matchup in Detroit on Friday night, Joe. And Adam Oates at home quite comfortable with it as well. Now Backstrom carried that puck for a bit. Could have been called for traveling there. And Zetterberg sweeps it up for the Red Wings. Erat tied up by Alfredson. And Dan DeKeyser has that for the Red Wings. DeKeyser has scored in both meetings this year against Washington. Erat now winding in for the Capitals, has that knocked away. So some first line time for Erat trying to end that horrendous drought. Goalless in his last 52, as you mentioned. Almost inconceivable.
Yeah, when the trade was made last year, he had 1 goal in 9.
In comes Patrick Eaves with a shot stopped by Neuvirth. Rebound! And Neuvirth the save on that as well, as he turns Eaves away twice.
Well, that goes from a turnover in the neutral zone to a Washington player falling to the ice, which then gave Patrick Eaves a little bit more time and space to make a play. Everything looks fine here. Orlov with the pass. There's the defensive play, and Orlov then falls down. And that gives Eaves plenty of time. He lets it go quickly, and Neuvirth, good save. Goaltending has been an issue for Washington all season long. In fact, George McPhee, the general manager, told me the other day, he said they'd have 10 more points with better goaltending.
And for the last several years, no one's been able to seize that number 1 job. Drew Miller back behind the goal.
Yeah,
that knocked away.
Holtby was the man, really, the last couple of years. Kept getting better and better, but has struggled this season.
In comes Tom Wilson, one-on-one with Brendan Smith. As the fourth line is out for Washington. And Drew Miller stapled there by Aaron Volpatti has to kick it ahead to Eve.
Now a penalty coming up on Washington.
So Carrick touches up, and we'll get a hooking call against the Caps with 6:39 to go in the first period. So the Red Wings scored their first power play. We'll get a chance here later in the period.
Well, these penalties now are taking the momentum away from Adam Oates and the Washington Capitals. They controlled the entire game up until a point where they took the first penalty. Henrik Zetterberg, as we mentioned, this is his second game back in the lineup after missing 2. He had missed 11 earlier with a back problem. Patty just back in the lineup because Brooks Light is out. And there he is. He gets in, gets a stick up around the waist, underneath the arms. Detroit, 1 for 1 on the power play, gets a shot here.
And this power play presented by Ford. Backstrom throws it across to Brouwer. And in come the Caps shorthanded. Brouwer spins back. And Backstrom comes in to help out. Bumped there by Zetterberg. Alfredson plays it ahead to Nyquist. Gustav Nyquist winding his way in. Sets things up for Kronwall. Across he goes to Zetterberg.
Brouwer without a stick.
Again. And here's Zetterberg, plays it across. Nyquist a shot that deflects high.
He actually gave his to the defenseman, Carlson. Carlson lost his. Brouwer gave him his stick. More important for the defenseman to have a stick in a penalty-killing situation.
4 Swedes on the ice for Detroit this power play. As Alfredson drops it back to Zetterberg.
This is their Olympic power play for Sweden.
Abdelkader might have to defect to fit in. Here's Nyquist with it now. In comes Nyquist. Loose it for the backhand shot. Save made, rebound put wide by Alfredson. And great pressure now for the Red Wings, who took their time getting their first shot on goal in the game. Now Abdelkader a big hit on Ward. Pulls the puck free for Alfredson. Alfredson back at the point to Zetterberg, across to Jakob Kindl. Kindl down to Nyquist. Abdelkader standing in front. In comes Nyquist. Drops it back to Zetterberg. Plays it back in front to Nyquist. He fanned on that. 35 seconds to go in the Detroit power play. Kindl feeds it back in front. And it's swept back up to center ice by Ward. And the Kaiser spins back as the Red Wings change. 25 seconds to go in the power play. 5 to go in the first period. And the Kaiser's rush is stymied as Erskine pounds it back down the ice for the Capitals.
Gord, you mentioned it early about Nyquist and wanting to do whatever he can to make Team Sweden for the Olympics. He has been excellent here in the first period.
The Kaiser for Kindl, but the play is offside at the Washington line.
Well, Nyquist scored the goal for Detroit on the power play to make this a 2-1 game. And then he'll get another opportunity here. Look at the work he does on the board. Strong, finds the puck, and then just takes it hard to the net. And all those things that we just saw right there within about a 3-second span is something that Mike Babcock, the Detroit coach, has been telling Nyquist he's got to do. Be stronger on the puck, and then when you get it, go to those scoring areas to the front of the net to try and score.
We got an earful from the coaches for not being in the lane for the tying goal late on Friday night in Mr. Babcock's usual direct style. But he's good here this afternoon, and his team now trails Washington by 1 here in the first period. The NHL on NBC is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. By Honda, official vehicle of the National Hockey League. By Subway Restaurants, home of the famous $5 footlong. And by USAA, serving the needs of military members and their families. And Kyle Quincy goes off for Detroit for delay of game, putting the puck over the glass. Sends Washington to the power play with 4:27 to go in the first period. So Brouwer gets tossed out of the face-off circle, doesn't like it. Backstrom will step in. And Backstrom wins the draw back to Carlson. John Carlson tees it up and fires. That deflects wide. Now Backstrom back on it. Ovechkin circling on the far side. Here's Brouwer. Across to Ovechkin. Shoots and he hammered it wide. Now Carlson to Backstrom. Nick Backstrom winds his way in. Lots of traffic in front. Here's Carlson with time to Backstrom. And Backstrom shoots. Howard to save. Bouncing puck goes to Ira. And Backstrom back with it. Being watched by Glendening. And a shot by Carlson. Scores! John Carlson power play goal! Capitals back up by 2.
Mike Babcock not happy, but when this power play unit has this kind of time, they're so difficult to start. There's the long shot, all the traffic in front. Give Troy Brouwer plenty of credit for just being in front. And then the screen. Yesterday, Adam Oates talked about Nick Backstrom understanding the correct angles on the power play and understanding them so well that he knows who to give the puck to. And on that one, John Carlson has had such a tremendous season. Makes it a 3-1 game.
10th goal of the year for Carlson. 5 of them scored on the power play. 3-1 Capitals.
Now, even with Mike Green being here in Washington, John Carlson has taken over as the #1 man on the right point on the power play this season.
And is he playing a ton of late, Joey? 29 minutes in Columbus, 31 in Detroit on Friday night. He leads the Capitals at 24.5 minutes played per game, but in January, it's up around 28.
Yeah, I talked to him about that yesterday, Gord, and I asked him about those minutes, and he said, you know, you just have to learn how to manage your time on the ice. Now, the other thing he said, I said, what's led to such a great season for you? And he says, I started the season, I said to myself, I'm not a kid anymore. I've been around here a long time, and I shouldn't be allowed to make mistakes because of my youth. And he said, I took that attitude, and what a season for him.
And like so many Olympians, you'll have to get used to reduced ice time in Sochi. So many players used to playing big minutes for their NHL clubs, but there's only so much ice time to go around at the Olympic level.
That's a young group of defensemen for Team USA. 5 of those defensemen aged 24 or under.
Now Brendan Smith back the other way for the Red Wings. Works his way and shovels that back in front. The save made by Neuvert. And the rebound down to the corner. Tom Wilson has it now up to center ice. Knocked down by Yurko. And Connor Carrick brings it ahead. Carrick, rink wide, he goes for Volpatti. In, shoots off the stick of Smith, and it bounces down to Tatar. Thomas Tatar. Banks that down as the puck dives in front of Neuvert. He plays it across to Orlov. And a bouncing puck moves behind the goal. Alfredson trying to center it. And Alfredson goes back to the Kaiser. Tipped right in front. The bouncing puck finally corralled by Carrick. And Connor Carrick, who started for Team USA at the World Junior Championship this year in Sweden, plays out ahead. Actually opened the season in the Capitals lineup in his hometown of Chicago. Saw the Stanley Cup banner go up by the Blackhawks.
He said he played that entire game against Jonathan Toews. And he said every time he got the puck, Jonathan Toews would knock it off the stick.
In comes Martin Erat with it now. Erat, a backhand shot stopped by Howard. And Jimmy Howard eats that up with 1:55 to go in the first period. Download the NBC Sports Live Extra app to watch the game live on your phone or tablet. Plus have access to live chats with experts from Pro Hockey Talk. The NBC Sports Live Extra app on NBCSports.com/Live Extra and NHL.com.
That man could use a goal, I would say. He gets a backhand chance, Martin Erat. And Jimmy Howard, who's allowed 3 here in the first period, gets over and takes everything away.
He's been a healthy scratch 8 times this year, Joe.
And he's asked to be traded
twice. Kind of tough to move a guy who's got time on his contract and no goals.
He gets power play time. He gets plenty of minutes. He's played center. He's played wing.
Wins that draw back to Ovechkin with a shot that flutters wide.
Boy, Adam Oates was right on, wasn't he, when he talked about face-offs? And they win another one here. They won that on the third goal. They won the face-off on the power play, as they did earlier.
And Nyquist ships that down for the Red Wings as Carlson goes back. Applicator steps into him. Out the other side, Backstrom settles things down and banks it across to Carlson. Carlson's played for Team USA before. He was a World Junior Champion in 2010 in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Scored the overtime winner in the gold medal game against Canada.
He's the first Washington Capital ever to play for Team USA in the Olympics. Or will be in another 10 days or so.
11-7 the shots on goal in favor of Washington. The Capitals leading 3-1. And now Chimera ahead to Ward. The play's offside at the Detroit line. Coming up, our Lexus Intermission Report with Russ Thaler, Mike Milbury, and Jeremy Roenick. They'll talk about the Capitals and their feisty forecheck and look ahead to the Olympic Winter Games in Sochi. Going to be a fascinating hockey competition, Joe.
It's just terrific, isn't it? When you get the best players in the world with such pride to play for their countries.
In single elimination games.
Yeah, it's a wonderful event.
Now Chimera racing to it. He and Kindle colliding behind the Detroit goal. And Smith has it knocked away by Ward. Back to the point to Erskine, who's hit 2 pipes here in the first period. And Chimera hooked by Kindle. Penalty coming to Detroit. And with 40 seconds to go in the period, Kindle goes off with a hook, and the Caps are back on the power play.
Again, so much of this first period has been the Capitals' aggressiveness on the forecheck. They've been getting in quickly, putting pressure on, and by doing that, most of the play has been in Detroit zone. Kindle just recently returned to the lineup. He played last game after being a healthy scratch for 4 games. They want him to be more competitive in the defensive zone. That time, he uses a stick in the wrong fashion. And so, Mike Babcock, just a quick reminder, and this power play for Washington against this penalty killing for Detroit has been a huge difference in this first period.
Now, face-off won by Helm, and Eriksson chips the puck down the ice for the Red Wings. And Karlsson being harassed there by the speedster Darren Helm. Ovechkin plays it back to Karlsson. 25 seconds to go in the period. And Backstrom winds his way through the middle of the ice to Karlsson. Throws that down to the corner. Backstrom collides with Kronwall. They'll be teammates in just a few days from now. Irat has it knocked back in front. Brouwer backhand shot stopped by Howard. As Troy Brouwer was sent sprawling, didn't like the fact there was no call. Held the line by Irat. In comes Backstrom. Ovechkin shoots. Oh, it deflected the last second and missed. Now Karlsson fires, kicked out by Howard. Ovechkin can't believe that didn't go in.
Well, a giveaway by Detroit in their own zone led to one more chance. And Jimmy Howard thought he was interfered with. Here's one. That's Troy Brouwer Brouwer gets tripped on the play. And then Detroit gives it up one more time instead of clearing it. And guess who gets it? Oh, he can't believe it. Nor can the crowd here. What a first period for the Caps.
Off the bar and out. The Capitals with a 3-1 lead through the opening period in a crucial Eastern Conference showdown in D.C. You're watching the NHL on NBC from Washington. Jason Chimera goals in back-to-back games against the Detroit Red Wings. 3-1 Washington leads after one period of play. Now let's start something special presented by Honda.
Well, the Washington Capitals talked yesterday in practice about they've got to do a better job of making plays with the puck. And then through this first period, these passes that you're seeing here on the tape. Good passes, find the open man, lead them correctly, and then take the puck to the net. I mean, this was for the Washington Capitals a dominant first period. They only had a couple of shifts where Detroit was able to put pressure on them, and because of that passing of the puck and the way their movement was, they're able to score 3 goals, 2 of those on the power play to take a 3-1 lead.
They're 2 for 2 on the man advantage, and Jakob Kindl still has 1 minute and 20 seconds to serve on his late first period penalty. And you see Gustav Nyquist.
He was good that first period, wasn't he, Gord?
Well, you got to wonder how much the Olympics are on his mind. And it's a real tough week for players, Joe. The guys that are going, the guys that might be injury replacements. You want to focus on the games. These are the guys that pay your salary, but the Olympics are a pretty big deal, too.
Well, Nyquist has said in the last week what an honor it would be for him to get chosen to represent his country, Sweden. Got a pretty good chance if he keeps playing this way.
Now Backstrom fires that down for the Caps. And Kronwall for Eriksson, taken away by Brouwer. Back in front to Backstrom, who tried to chip that back to the point to Ovechkin. How about the miss by Ovechkin at the end of the first period?
Need to stop the presses. He never misses from there.
If you had $5 for every time he's done that in a career, you still couldn't go to a movie.
I'd have your money.
Not much. Here's Irat. Bounces down in front, trying to kick that back, and here's Bauer back with it. To the point to Carlson. Across he goes to Backstrom. Cross ice to Ovechkin. Feeds back in front to Irat. Down he goes, and Howard makes the save. Martin Irat's got to wonder now if he'll ever score again.
You know, Mike Milbury between periods was talking about how they took Ovechkin away. This time they didn't. So, of course, Backstrom gets him the puck.
Ovechkin snaps that pass across to Johansson. 10 seconds to go in the power play. In comes Johansson with time. Wade shoots at the top corner pick and just missed. Carlson back on it. Down to Ovechkin, and Kindle is out for Detroit. And Johansson crisscrossing there with Chimera. Loose in the corner. Ward plays that back to Erskine. Erskine tees it up. Howard the save through the traffic. Rebound, and Johansson turned away again by Jimmy Howard.
Boy, John Erskine is getting opportunities in this game. Gord, you mentioned in the first period where he hit the post or the crossbar twice. He gets another chance here. Prior to that, here's Johansson. Boy, he's thinking pass. He looks down. It's a good defensive play because there was nothing to shoot. They forced him to go wide, and then Erskine with the shot, rebound. Washington is really fighting to get to those areas in front of the net to find loose pucks.
Missed 25 games this year as Erskine to injuries. As Alsner shoots and whip that wide. Alsner scored earlier this season at home against Nashville. The first goal he's ever scored regular season or playoffs in this arena. It's in his 6th year with the Caps.
He and Carlson have been partners for a number of years now for the most part. He just likes to give Carlson the puck and stay back and defend. Not a bad idea.
Now Beagle in a sharp angle, works his way around Kindle. Slides that back to Alsner. Wrists it off the end boards, trying for the carom in front, and he couldn't find Volpatti.
Now the other thing, Gordon, is that Adam Holtz has been working with Carl Alsner to try and stay in the middle of the ice and to try to stay on his forehand so that he can get more shots through to the net.
Now Carlson tries to feather that pass in front. Kindle finds Nyquist. Up ahead to Zetterberg with Abdelkader, and Henrik Zetterberg squeezed off the puck by Orlov, gets it right back. Zetterberg feeds for Sheahan, couldn't get a good shot away. And here's Kronwall with it. Cross he goes, and Eriksson fanned that one-timer as Sheahan reaches up with a loose puck. Gets it right back to Abdelkader. Back in front to Sheahan with a drive, and Michael Neuvert makes the save in tight.
Good aggressive forecheck by the Red Wings here to keep the play alive. Support from defense, and then Abdelkader with a real good play from behind the net. Nice little pass up and over his stick. It lands flat, and Neuvert hasn't been nearly as busy as Jimmy Howard, but he's been good. That's Volpatti, who got hit by Jonathan Eriksson on the boards and looks to have injured his arm.
Now Thomas Jurko with it for the Red Wings. That pass intercepted by Backstrom, who slides that ahead to Irat. Working in with Ovechkin. Martin Irat works his way down low, feeds back in front. Ovechkin's stick was tied up by Kronwall. Now Kronwall falls in front of Ovechkin. And Jurko has the loose puck. Lead pass to Thomas Tatar. Tatar in, shoots, and a glove save by Neuvert.
Neuvert is coming off a game where he made 42 saves in Detroit on Friday night out of 45. He hasn't played all that much. There's a deflection on the pass. Real good pass in Neuvert. He's been sharp. He's gone through stretches where he hasn't had much work in this game. But when Detroit has been able to get their opportunities, Neuvert has really looked good.
Remember the 2011 playoffs, Joe? He was the Capitals starting goaltender in that postseason.
Yeah, you're right. Varlamov was another goaltender that was here at the time. He is now having an outstanding season in Colorado. They had a real surplus of good young goaltenders here.
Erskine fans on that pass, and now Anderson tries to feather that ahead for Helm. Tied up by Erskine in a big collision in the corner. So Neuvert stopped 6 out of 7 shots in the shootout on Friday, but the other guy stopped 7 out of 7. Carrick Drops it back to Brower. Troy Brower shoots. Howard makes the stop. Bouncing puck in front, still loose. And reaching for it there is Jay Beagle. And now Howard's got no goal stick. And the Red Wings, mercifully for him, come up with the puck, and Helm brings it ahead. And Jimmy Howard can now retrieve his goal stick. That's got to be the worst feeling in the world for a goaltender, short of not having a mask. Now Drew Miller with it. Throws it down low to Glendening. And Luke Glendening wins that battle for the puck. Down to Patrick Eaves. Eaves throws that back to the point to Kittle with a shot, and Neuvert makes the save. There's no rebound. Call Star NHL to download NHL Game Center Premium and get a free premium upgrade only on Verizon. Enjoy exclusives like free live NBC national games. Never be without hockey.
Good shift that time, led by Luke Glendening. And eventually the shot through. There's a good look at Jimmy Howard, one of the three goaltenders for Team USA. Was injured this year, missed 3 weeks with a knee injury.
He had been missed 4 last week and the week before with the same knee injury, so his status for Sochi was somewhat in doubt, but he's pronounced himself healthy and ready to go.
He's been good since coming back, since about January 1st or so, which they're going to need for them, I think, to continue this long stretch of getting into the playoffs.
AC Wellman led that rush now for the Capitals, and it knocked away as Sheahan looks ahead for Thomas Tatar. And Strachan takes that away from him. Here's Riley Sheahan, former star for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Down to Tatar. Tatar works it back in front, still with it. Tatar shoots, hit a leg in front, bouncing puck. Finally swept down to the corner by Orlov. And Tatar back with it. Good pressure now by the Red Wings. Tatar to Smith with a shot. That hit Neuvert up high and it bounced off the goalpost. And finally, thrown back down the ice. Kindle's got to hurry. Chimera can fly. And Jason Chimera wins that race to the puck. And now they scrum around in the corners. Backstrom picks it out. Back he goes to Alsner. Across to Carlson. To Aldred. It's chipped away by Tatar. And a race for it. Erat came back to take that away from Tatar.
That's a great shift by Tatar. Strong on the puck. Good defensive play here at his own blue line.
And Nyquist almost stole that away from Alsner. Now Erat. Rink wide to Ovechkin. Alexander Ovechkin winds and fires. Howard the save, and Eriksson clears the rebound. And now Zetterberg, being harassed there by Backstrom, gathers the puck back up. Zetterberg, backhand shot goes wide. Zetterberg right back on it. Feeds it back to Kronwall. And Kronwall's pass goes off a stick. Up and out of play. The Capitals lead 3-1 here in period number 2 on the NHL on NBC. Let's take a look at a fast recovery presented by Advil.
How about Gustav Nyquist? Offensive zone penalty there. He goes to the box. Washington does this. Joe Ward, power play goal. And then Nyquist comes back out. It was 2-0 at this point. He gets back out there on the power play. And that's a quick recovery. He scores. That made the game 2-1 on that power play goal.
Advil as fast as it is strong. Shots are 17-11 in favor of Washington. A 3-1 score for the Capitals. Washington 3 points out of the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Kronwall plays that across, and the shot glove at the top of the crease by Michael Neuvert off the stick of Jonathan Eriksson.
That's a good save by Neuvert, because when Eriksson took the shot, it was on edge. So it came at him as a knuckler. And so his concentration was real good to watch this puck into his glove. Here it is. See how it came at him? It was knuckling down, and his concentration watched the puck right into the glove. Good save.
Now the draw control by Detroit. And Danny DeKeyser goes down to Alfredsson. Steps around Erskine. And Alfredsson bumps off the puck as Beagle tries to play it out. Alfredsson steals it back. Drop back at the point. Kyle Quincy with a shot that hit a leg in front. And Beagle finds Brower ahead to Johansson. And DeKeyser steps into him. Danny DeKeyser had that pass go off the skate of Kyle Quincy and right back to him. And now Beagle wins the race to the puck. Down he goes to Johansson. Marcus Johansson loosened behind the Detroit goal. Feeds that back to Carrot. Slides it across to Erskine, a long shot right on. Howard makes the save. And Helm thrown down as Quincy picks it up. Then goes ahead to Alfredsson. Daniel Alfredsson drops that back to Drew Miller. And back to Alfredson, the 19-year NHL veteran. Signed as a free agent by Detroit in the offseason. He's come through with 12 goals for them so far. Now Brendan Smith has to race back as Joel Ward gives him a couple of whacks. And Smith skates away from that. Quick pass ahead for Tatar. And now Strachan throws that to Ward. Orlov skates away from Yurko. Still winding in is Dmitry Orlov. Peels back and drops it off for Eric Fair. Now Ward. To Chimera. Rink wide he goes for Strachan. Tyson Strachan. Back down low. Kimball got bumped there by Chimera. At the line is Orlov. He bobbled the puck and he'll have to regroup.
Now you talk about Orlov. He's a player that's improved this season after having a concussion issue. He's gotten better.
Hit the ice with Yahoo Sports Fantasy Hockey. Sign up now and play at yahoo.com/fantasyhockey.
Now George McPhee, the general manager, and talking about some of the young kids, even though this has been an uneven season. I mean, Orlov, when he starts doing these types of things, he opens people's eyes. Good move coming out of his own zone. He's got some ability, as I mentioned. Took him some time to recover from the concussion, but they like his upside.
Spent the first couple of months of the season as either a healthy scratch or in Hershey in the American League. Had to win the confidence of the head coach. And Casey Wellman slides out ahead to Tom Wilson. Right down on goal, and Howard makes the save as Wellman was looking for the loose puck. Casey Wellman is the son of former Major League Baseball player Brad Wellman.
He's been in 4 different organizations. He started with Minnesota, played some games for the Wild, then went to the New York Rangers where he did not play any games, played in the minor leagues, went on to Florida, same thing, did not play a game for Florida.
Yeah.
And now with Detroit, he's got tremendous speed. And as Adam Oates was saying before the game, he said, you know what, the kid has stepped in here. We needed somebody to give us a little bit of a spark, and he's done that.
Scored in the game on Friday night. Born in Brentwood, California, but moved to Michigan as a youngster. And playing against the team he grew up watching and admiring. A lot of that going around in Michigan.
I'd say.
And a kid
22 consecutive years of making the playoffs, and you attract a lot of attention.
Danny DeKaiser, another one of those players, throws it to Abdelkader. That's 2 Michiganders. As Nyquist works it back in front, the pass knocked away by Backstrom. And here comes Ovechkin across the line. Oh, what a move by Ovechkin, and Kyle Quincy reached back to knock that away.
Now Kyle Quincy.
And now Carlson a drive, and Howard got just a piece of that. Ovechkin back with it. Feeds it back to Alsner. Rolling puck, shoots it, putters down in front, knocked away by DeKaiser. And away comes Abdelkader. Abdelkader, native of Muskegon, Michigan. Then went to Michigan State, now plays for the Red Wings. Now pass it back in front, and Nyquist turned away by Neuvert, and Michael Neuvert makes another point-blank save.
Abdelkader has made a number of plays from behind the net, and this was another one. And Nyquist, who is listening to the coach, he's going to those scoring areas. And Abdelkader, number 8, watch the pass coming up right there. Nice quick pass. Nyquist with the quick release. And Neuvert has really been steady. Calm in goal, good positioning. He's letting the puck hit him and controlling it, no rebound.
And Tatar off the face-off, whistles that high. Yurko tangled up in the corner, lost his stick. And now Brouwer turns the puck over to Tatar. Back to Kronwall at the point, and Brouwer has it back. Rink wide he goes, the pass in behind Johansson. Tatar. Up for Riley Sheahan. Sheahan in, shoots, it goes off the leg. Now the Capitals defenseman Tyson Strachan, and now Eriksson back to pick it up. Jonathan Eriksson for Tatar. And Strachan fires that down. Eriksson back to scoop it up. Will play with his brother at the Olympics for Team Sweden. So he plays in the Swedish Hockey League. As Alfredson brings it in, and the play is offside at the Capitals line. The NHL and NBC returns to Washington after this. Back in Washington, time now for Edward Jones FaceTime. Here's Joe with Red Wings head coach Mike Babcock.
Mike, what was the message for your team after that first period?
Well, we weren't very good in the first 10 minutes at all, and our penalty kill killed us. Just some missed assignments. We thought we had a pretty good plan coming in, and we didn't execute it at all. So now we're playing catch-up. But I like what we're doing here, and we're better now. But we got to forecheck and be physical and get involved in the game here.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Shots are 2013 Capitals in a 3-1 lead. Washington's led by 2 twice in the game. As Connor Carrick looks ahead for Ward, but that's going to be an icing call against Washington. So Joe Paveldatsuk hasn't played for the Red Wings since the Winter Classic on January 1st. Yesterday, Mike Babcock described him in practice as a one-legged player right now. Datsuk's scheduled to be the captain for Team Russia at the Olympics. At what point does Datsuk have to maybe think about not going?
Well, if he's not even close to playing for the Red Wings when they finish next week, I don't think he should play in the Olympics. I mean, those games are going to start quickly. And to me, your employer is who you have to have your loyalty to. I understand the importance, especially the games being in Russia. But if he can't play for the Red Wings and it's not anywhere close to being better, I think he's got to withdraw.
So you've got the other situation. You got Steven Stamkos in Tampa, a little different because his general manager is Steve Yzerman, also the GM of Team Canada. You got Henrik Sedin in Vancouver, who's out with a bad rib. But really, Joe, for Pavel Datsuk, the Olympics in your home country, tough to say no.
For sure it is. There's no question about that. But again, you're talking big business, and you're talking about a franchise that knows how to win. And they're trying to get to the playoffs for the 23rd consecutive season. And again, I mean, their team doctors certainly are going to take a look at him. And every day, I'm sure he's getting a little bit better. But if he is, as Mike Babcock talked about, a one-legged hockey player right now, it doesn't seem like there's much time to get back, or much time to get better in order to play in the Olympics. But we'll see. They've got a few games left. He just might try and play in a game before the Olympics.
And a lot at stake for the playoff berth for the Red Wings. Drew Miller spins and throws that through the crease.
Red Wings are a good team if they're healthy. And that's been their biggest issue this year. Now, granted, the young kids have stepped in and done a nice job, but when you start missing Zetterberg and Datsuk and your goaltender and a few others, it makes it difficult to win.
Now Wellman plays that back to Erskine. And here's Carrick with it, wraps that around the glass. Kronwall took a hard bump in the corner from Tom Wilson, who played his junior hockey just outside Detroit in Plymouth, Michigan. For a great Ontario Hockey League franchise, the Plymouth Whalers. Now Alter trying to pick it out. And here's Carlson. Ahead to Wilson. Rink wide he goes to Marcus Johansson. Johansson's got to be watching Nyquist scoring all the time and thinking that if he's going to have a chance to make that Team Sweden roster, grab that spot from Branson, he needs to score too. Zetterberg with a drive, and Neuvert makes the save on him. And the clock is ticking. Thursday, the world will converge in Sochi, Russia, as athletes from across the globe compete for country and Olympic gold. The Sochi Olympic Winter Games begin Thursday here on NBC.
On Twitter,
Can't wait.
Feed your passion.
A lot more than hockey being contested. It's a fascinating experience, and of course, coming off all the drama in Vancouver and so many venues. Who's your favorite to win the men's hockey competition in Sochi, Joe?
Yeah, I've thought about that often, and this guy right here, Ovechkin, has been getting calls from high-level officials over in Russia. I mean, he's got so much pressure. And he said to me yesterday, he said, it's nice to play in these games over here and not think about what's going to happen over there. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of pressure, and maybe too much for Russia to win it. But I think it's a toss-up. I think for Canada, I think their goaltending, is a question mark right now. Their goaltending has to be better and be strong. If it is, it's hard to not think that they don't have a wonderful shot. Team USA is a quicker team than they were before, and I think they have better goaltending than Canada. you know, they're certainly they're going to have a shot, and you can't ever count out Sweden with what they do, and Henrik Lundqvist in goal for Team Sweden.
You know, we saw dark horse teams like Slovakia make a run in Vancouver. Saw the Finns get to the gold medal game in Torino in 2006.
Finns goaltending is not bad. Not Gordon. I mean, they've always had a very, very strong goaltending contingent.
And Gustav Nyquist would like to get the Red Wings back to 10 Olympians and 6 for Team Sweden, and that element can't be overlooked as well. The fact that the Swedes will have 6 players potentially from one team. Orlov gains center ice and fires that down to the Red Wings zone, or Howard is out to play it. And Tatar to Sheahan. Cross the line, Sheahan for Tatar. And loose in the corner, he falls in front of Orlov. Beagle trying to poke that ahead. And now Eriksson finds Sheahan. The pass intercepted by Orlov, and he lifts it back out to center ice.
Detroit's been a better team in the second period, as Mike Babcock talked about. But for Washington, they've been pretty good defensively as well. There's not many scoring chances by either team in the second period.
Detroit ranked 21st though in the NHL in goals for. They got one today to end their shutout streak on the road. They've been blanked in the previous 3 road games. And Tatar with a shot, scores! Thomas Tatar draws the Red Wings with a goal.
Now this starts from Detroit's own end. A better job with the puck in this period. There haven't been many scoring chances, and this is one. Thomas Tatar, who wasn't noticeable in the first period, is noticeable here. Left side of the screen. He'll end up with it. There it is. And from that angle, you would expect your goaltender to make a save. Neuvert has been very good to this point, and that one, he just goes right through him on the short side.
And the remarkable story of Thomas Tatar continues. His father, Jan, passed away in early January. He went home for the funeral, came back and played right away, told the Red Wings he wanted to get right back on the ice to pay tribute to his dad. He scored his first game back. He's got 6 in his last 12 games. Now a loose puck in front. Joel Ward scores! And just like that, the Caps are back up by 19 seconds is all it took.
Yeah, great response. Here's Joe Ward. Big hit on the boards. Turnover by Detroit in their own zone. And Ward just goes to the front of the net. He throws it all the way across, and he is determined as he gets to the front. Off a skate. And there is Ward, who gets past Kindle in front.
Got 2 tonight, or today rather, goals in 3 consecutive, and for the 3rd time in the game, the Capitals lead by 2.
That play by Kindle, or lack of a defensive play, is not going to sit well with his coaches. Again, they've been after him to be more competitive in the defensive zone, and all he had to do there was look. He was close, but he let Joel Ward go right past him and out-muscle him for the goal.
It was a healthy scratch, and 4 straight was Kindle before coming back to play against Washington on Friday in Detroit. And Neuvert shovels that across to Carrick, stolen away by Drew Miller. And now moved ahead by Tom Wilson. And Wilson, the 19-year-old, had that knocked away.
Just prior to that, Wilson had a huge hit on Kyle Quincy, who was slow to get up.
Carrick and Wilson on the ice for Washington could both be playing junior hockey right now. Zetterberg works in. Steps around Carrick. Throws it back in front. That pass was blocked as Eriksson lost it. Now a lead pass by Erat. Ovechkin shoots. Howard to save. Loose puck in front. And that's taken away by Eriksson as Erat was that close to getting a stick on it. Now Abdelkader throws it in front. Knocked down by Backstrom. And at the line, Cronwall has that knocked through by Erat. Eriksson throws it back into the Washington zone. Alsner being harassed there by Abdelkader. And Alsner steps away from him. Here comes Carl Alsner on the rush. Across the line is Alsner. He goes 200 feet with the puck and drops it back to Ovechkin. Spinning back in the corner. Cronwall Kronwall stepping into Ovechkin. Now Kronwall with no stick. Irak picks up the loose puck. Works it back in front. Here comes Irak with a shot. That's blocked by Eriksson.
It's hard to believe when you see Irak make plays with the puck as he set up Ovechkin, and then he had that chance. He had a chance in the first period as well, that he's gone the entire season without a goal.
A 3-time 20-goal scorer in the NHL. Can't buy one this year. And now Tatar was bottled up, slides it across to Smith. And Brendan Smith looks for Yurko. That's going to be an icing call against Detroit. 3:52 remaining in the second period. And Washington players to a man were amazed at Thomas Tatar's ability to focus on the game with the loss of his dad, who was a professional soccer player in Slovakia.
He's really been a good story, hasn't he, Gord? And earlier in the season, you talked about all the goals he scored in the American Hockey League last year where they won the championship. And Mike Babcock in October said to me, he said, I don't know if the kid can play. But we'll throw him in, we'll see what he can do. And he has proven that for his side. Not a big guy, but he's got a lot of moxie.
Here's Johansson looking for Brouwer. And Troy Brouwer can't get a shot away. Tyson Strachan with it. And that pass intercepted by Kindle. Now Brouwer sends it back in front, missed Johansson. And Tatar's got it. He's a healthy scratch in 8 of the first 9 games for Detroit. Took him a while to work his way into the lineup.
He
will be
coming up
anytime
Washington
soon. Yeah, the captain will get a penalty here as Howard goes to the Detroit bench. So a chance for the Red Wings coming up to draw back within a goal. And finally, touched up by Beagle. 3:08 to go in the second period. The Red Wings to the power play when we come back.
Detroit trails by a couple of goals. They have scored a power play goal in this game, and they'll get another opportunity. Troy Brouwer right there. Two-handed slash, and that puts Detroit back on the power play.
Capitals penalty. Number 20, Troy Brouwer commits the slashing.
And back goes Alfredson for it on this Detroit power play.
Number 20, Troy Brouwer, 2 minutes for slashing.
I mentioned the Red Wings do have one. They were 4 for 55 coming in. And now Alfredson rink wide to Nyquist. Gustav Nyquist in for Abdelkader. And it bounces over to Alfredson. Kronwall to Zetterberg. Abdelkader standing in front. Here's Zetterberg. Across the top he goes, and Kronwall fans with that one-time shot. Abdelkader to Nyquist. Across to Kronwall. And Kronwall's pass back to the point, held by Zetterberg. Great play by Zetterberg to keep it alive for Detroit. Back he goes to Alfredson. Abdelkader battling for space in front with Alsner. And Zetterberg works in, sends it back in front, skipped away from Kronwall. And the puck goes over the glass. We're going to stop it with 1:07 to go in the Detroit power play.
Well, Zetterberg getting him back in the lineup certainly helps this power play. As you mentioned the numbers, Gordon, but with Zetterberg, he's such an unbelievable two-way player and so trustworthy in all situations. He leads his team in shots. Not happy with that stick or with the result when he was on the ice for the first part of that power play.
So that'll do it for that one. Now Sheahan in for the face-off along with Tatar and Yurko. Probably the Grand Rapids power play last spring.
They were good together. They played as a line, those young players, and they've been good. Certainly Mike Babcock has trusted them since they've been up here. But he said, you look at their numbers and look what they've done, and there's some veteran players that are healthy scratches out of this Detroit lineup. He said the kids deserve to play.
Dan Clary and Todd Bertuzzi both scratched this afternoon. Bertuzzi on his 39th birthday. Alsner off the glass, knocked down by DeKaiser. Danny DeKaiser trying to play that across. It's intercepted by Ward with Chimera. They got 3 goals between them in the game, and Ward back with it. Both have 3 points. And Ward tied up by Kindle. And with Grabowski out and Light, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Washington. Zetterberg winds his way in. 10 seconds to go in this power play. He finds Tatar loose in front. His stick was tied up by Erskine. Now Zetterberg sends it in front. They score! Gustav Nyquist again! And Detroit is back within a goal again.
Well, Zetterberg, get him a new stick, get him a short rest, and then get him back on the ice, and he'll make the play. Here he is on the boards. holds on there. Eventually he'll get it back, and then there's the pass. Beautiful pass to the other side to Nyquist. And so Zetterberg, frustrated with the first part of that power play, he came right back on the ice with that new stick. Beautiful pass. And Nyquist wants to go to Sochi.
Make sure your passport's in order, young man.
What a boost that would be, not just for Team Sweden, but for this Detroit team, if they could get Nyquist to start scoring some goals. As I mentioned earlier, he tends to pass the puck most of the time. He doesn't shoot much. And now in this game, you can just see he's hanging around the net. He's getting there. He's making things happen. He's shooting the puck when it gets there. He's been on the boards making plays. He's been one of the best players on the ice in this game. 2 goals.
One thing the Red Wings and Mike Babcock talked to Nyquist about earlier in the season, Joe, was don't defer to the older Swedes on the team. Don't feel like you always have to pass it to Alfredsson or Zetterberg. Take your chances.
Easier said than done, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you sit there and the great careers of those players.
Here he comes again. Nyquist working his way in. Final minute of the second period. Third time Detroit has drawn within a goal. And the puck loose in the corner to Abdelkader. His line is right back on the ice for Detroit, and Abdelkader wins the battle for the puck. Spins in front of Backstrom. Doubles it down to Zetterberg. Here's Zetterberg loose behind the goal. Walks back in front. Zetterberg with a shot. Goes off a leg and wide. And Ovechkin on it. Just throws that down the Detroit zone. That's going to be an icing call against the Capitals with 29 seconds to go in the second period. Stay tuned for our Discover Card intermission report with Russ Thaler, Mike Milbury, and Jeremy Roenick. Talking about Michael Neuvirth and his good and bad this afternoon. And will Pavel Datsyuk be ready for the Olympics and all the ramifications of that? Off the face-off, Yurko lays that back to Quincy. Loose behind the goal is Riley Sheahan. 20 seconds to go in the period. Sheahan throws it back in front. The shot fired wide by Yurko. Looks skyward on the miss. Quincy back down to Yurko. Sends it back in front. Tipped by the glove of Neuvirth. Final seconds. The Kaiser throws it back in front and just missed Yurko. Great pressure by the Red Wings in the closing seconds of the period. Tatar throws it across. The Kaiser sends it back in front. It's tipped wide by Yurko. And a great chance for the Red Wings in the dying seconds of the second period. This chance for Sheahan as he throws it back in front to Yurko, and it goes off the shaft of Neuvirth's stick.
There it is again. Neuvirth comes out. He's in good position. Just gets enough. The special teams in this game, boy, we've seen changes of momentum as the power plays have happened.
The Caps take leads. The Red Wings battle back. The first 2 meetings of the year have gone to shootouts. The third still to come from Washington. A seesaw battle through 2 periods of play. The Capitals lead Detroit by a score of 4-3. Let's go inside the glass with Joe Micheletti.
Okay, Gord, thanks very much. Yesterday I had a long talk with Adam Oates, and we were going down his roster as he was talking about some of the players, and he loves to teach, and one in particular was Joel Ward. He says, this is a guy who's got good strength and is very coachable, and he says on top of that, he's got a lot more upside to his game, and today what we're seeing, he's played a little over 8 minutes, but he has 2 goals and an assist in just over 8 minutes of play. I mean, this is someone that Adam Oates feels is going to move up in the lineup as time goes along.
16 goals this year now, Joe, on 94 shots. That's economical. And Joachim Andersen sends that wide of the goal as Neuvirth steers that away. The Red Wings came within an eyelash of tying the game late in the second period. Now remember, on Friday night in Washington, it was the Capitals who equalized with 7 seconds to go in regulation time, sending that game to a shootout. Now Zetterberg across the line, sends it back in front, he scores! Gustav Nyquist! Hat-trick goal, the game is tied at 4.
Now Mike Milbury talked a lot about Henrik Zetterberg in that second intermission. This all starts in their own zone, and here comes Zetterberg, and you're going to see a fake shot coming up right here. Fake shot and a pass. Absolutely beautiful. Fake pass pass. He knew exactly where Nyquist was on the play. Backstrom coming back on the play, was out of position defensively, and just that little redirection, and Nyquist puts it in, and guess what? There's a couple of hats. There's a few Detroit fans right behind me here, and
that's his first career hat trick. He has the last 2 Detroit goals, and this game is tied at 4, so finally the Red Wings are able to erase one of those 2-goal leads by the Capitals.
Yeah, it was a change by both teams on the dump-in. When Washington put the puck in, both teams made a change. But you cannot allow a player to come all the way up the ice without at least getting a stick on him to slow him down. Washington did that, and Zetterberg made them pay.
First 2 meetings of the year went to shootouts. The first won by Washington on Friday. It was the Red Wings who came out ahead. In a crucial battle in the Eastern Conference, Detroit a point out of the final playoff spot. Washington 3 back. Both these teams were favorites to make the top 8 at the start of the year. Detroit has made the playoffs 22 seasons in a row. Now Zetterberg with the steal. Looks back in front. Edel Kaner, a shot picked up by Neuberg.
Boy, remember that save. That's a great save by Neuberg.
And Quincy up the center ice. Zetterberg picks it up. The puck was played with a high stick. And play is called.
You can just feel it here, a change in momentum. We've seen changes in momentum because of power plays in this game, but the early goal has got Detroit going. There's the last save by Neuberg. He was moving to his left and had to kick out the right leg. Justin Abdelkader has played a strong game physically. He's set up a few plays. Now he gets a shot on goal, but is stopped by Neuberg.
So now Warren and Chimera out for Washington. They've got 3 of the Capitals' 4 goals in the game. Been a pretty quiet afternoon for Ovechkin so far. He had that crossbar in the power play at the end of the first.
Right. In fact, he didn't have any shots on goal. That does not count as a shot on goal, so he had 0 in the first.
Now Chimera back with it, being watched by Kindle. And Chimera crisscrossing with Eric Fair, who picks it up. Fair back and forth to Ward with the drive. He hammered it wide.
He can't believe he missed it. All kinds of time, and he just looked away in disgust.
Orlov taken down by Tatar. And with just over 2 minutes gone in the third period, the Washington Capitals are going to the power play as Thomas Tatar goes off.
Well, as we heard Mike Babcock in that second period say, we worked a lot yesterday on trying to defend this power play of Washington. He said it hasn't worked very well. 81 is Orlov. There's a stick between the legs by Tatar. Down he goes. And then here's Ward. He missed that by about 2 feet.
Well, didn't miss Brendan Smith by that much. His head was right in the way. That whizzed by his right ear.
Now, you mentioned Ovechkin. Now's the time to keep an eye on him.
Here they come as Brouwer throws it in. And Nick Cornwall goes back. Being watched there by Irak. And Helm to the line, but knocked down by Carlson. A good play by John Carlson to keep it alive. And Backstrom has it back. Nick Backstrom works it back in front to Brouwer. Shovels back to Carlson. Across he goes to Backstrom. Ovechkin teed up for the one-timer. Backstrom in, shoots, pass, saved by Howard, and he pounces on the rebound.
Well, the defense is simply this. We're going to take Ovechkin out of the mix. We'll put a player right on him. They've got a forward that cheats down to Ovechkin. And then what Detroit is going to do is they're going to get beat by somebody else other than Ovechkin. Right in the middle of your screen, the middle of the play there is Troy Brouwer, but Backstrom elects to take that shot.
Now the face-off, one back to Carlson. To Backstrom. And now Backstrom gets it set up, walks right back in and fires. He hammered it wide. And the puck back down to the Capital zone. Ovechkin has played 10 career games against the Detroit Red Wings. He has 8 goals and a point in every game.
Now the other thing is this, Gord. Backstrom is used to being the setup man. He can score. He goes offside here. But when he looks up and he says he sees that one of his biggest weapon is taken away, and they're giving him all kinds of time. His shots, one was blocked, the other one missed the net, and he's going to have to be the one that tries to finish. But now he's back on the bench as they make a change on the power play. And Jason Chimera, who's starting to see some power play time in the last 2 games, he's back on the ice. And let's not forget this, Johansson, number 90, is as good a passer as Baxter.
And Ovechkin slides that across to Carlson. And Chimera with a head of steam. Looks ahead to Ward. That pass too far for him. That'll be an icing against the Capitals with 48 seconds to go on the power play.
Now that's what happens sometimes when you haven't had much power play time, not only with this team, but in his career. Chimera has not been much of a power play guy, but Adam Oates said yesterday, I asked him about putting Chimera on the power play. He says we need a little bit more size out there to get to the front of the net and to create some things, and he did score a power play goal Friday night in Detroit.
Ward won that faceoff, and here's Ovechkin stepping around Carlson. Ovechkin leads the Capitals and the league with 14 power play goals, and Carlson has that pass bounce back to him. Now Carlson has it knocked away by Drew Miller, and Carlson has to retreat quickly. That was 2 bobbles by Carlson trying to make his way up the ice. Third time lucky, and he goes to Ovechkin. And Ovechkin fires it around. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Bouncing puck picked up by Kyle Quincy. And ahead to Darren Helm. 2-on-1 shorthanded. Helm with Drew Miller. In comes Darren Helm. Walks back in front. Helm shoots. Pass saved by Neuvert. And Helm picks up the rebound. And now in the final seconds, back come the Capitals. Chimera in across the line. Steps in front of Kronwall, and out comes Tatar. And Tatar racing to the loose puck. Tatar gets there first. Winds back in the corner, sends it back in front of Neuvert. A point-blank save on Zetterberg. This thing's going to be 8-7 before they're done, Joe. Advocator hustling back. Erat reaching in on him.
Good.
Now a loose puck. Bauer scores! Troy Bauer! And the Caps lead again!
Somebody might want to call a timeout. Detroit with the chance. Darren Helm, this is Helm shorthanded. He makes a very patient play, letting Carlson slide past him. Neuvert is able to come up with the save, and now the other end. Troy Brouwer. There's the turnover, and Brouwer in front. Brouwer had 4 shots through the first 2 periods. And this is just poor defensive play by Detroit. Yeah, that's a poor effort defensively, and it turns into their go-ahead goal.
For now. Now Yurko throws that back in front, and Brendan Smith feeds it down to Riley Sheahan. Beagle steps in front of him. And Fair just packs that down the ice for the Capitals. That'll be an icing charge against Washington. Troy Brouwer had 1 goal in 14 games coming in.
Remember last year, he was on a line with Mike Ribeiro.
Yeah.
An outstanding playmaker. And he had those 19 goals in 47 games. And here's another look at the goal. This is just very poor defensive play by Detroit. They had a chance to make a play to clear the zone. They give it up, and it ends up in their net.
And now over the head of Smith, that's going to be icing again against the Capitals. And of course, seconds before the goal, Henrik Zetterberg had a great chance when Tatar came out of the box.
Well, he faked to stay in the slot, and then he went to the front of the net. Oof, and what a chance. Neuvert, that's a beautiful save. It just goes off of Zetterberg, and Neuvert with the long, long stretch keeps it out. What a game this has been.
And now Alfredsson loose down low for the Red Wings. Being watched there by Carrot, and Alfredsson throws that down to Joachim Anderson. Now from the point, the shot pinballs off the leg, and a chance now for Fair busting in. Eric Fair with a rolling puck, and it's knocked away, and a great defensive play by Detroit, standing to Kaiser.
Fans didn't like it. I thought it was a heck of a play.
Looked like he got the puck first.
Yeah, Eric Fair didn't like it, but the Kaiser's an excellent skater.
The Kaiser signed as a free agent last spring out of college by Detroit. He was highly coveted to the point where people joked that Steve Yzerman had bought a condominium in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where he was playing college hockey.
Everybody wanted to sign him. Everybody. But most teams knew that Detroit was where his heart was.
Steve only been in the league for 2 months as Tatar works in. Thomas Tatar, what a move! Stopped by Neubert. When he broke his thumb in the second round against Chicago, it was a huge loss for Detroit. Now another bouncing puck, and Neubert pounces on that. Great chances at both ends of the rink. Back and forth they go. And Eric Fair, that close to getting 6 for Washington.
Here's another look. Eric Fair with an opportunity. Danny DeKeyser was able to come back and reach. I thought it was an excellent defensive play. Now, in the rule book, you can call a tripping call on a play like that after you get the puck. I just thought it was a real good non-call and just a good defensive play. Excellent effort by Fair. DeKeyser comes back to make a real strong defensive play.
And the face-off down in the Washington zone as Zetterberg steps in against Beagle. Caps with 2 of their top 3 centers as Brooks Laich left the game late against the Red Wings on Friday night in Detroit and is out again tonight. Now a chance in front for Zetterberg. Dribbles down in front, loose puck, they score! Justin Abdelkader, and the game is tied at 5.
We keep talking about Zetterberg because he's in the middle of everything. Abdelkader has had a really strong game and finally gets a deserving goal. But this is Zetterberg, whose first shot was blocked, and then he reaches for the puck right there across to the other side. Nyquist involved also. There's the effort. Oh, I thought it was Zetterberg. Give Nyquist a lot of credit. It looked to me initially like it was Zetterberg, but it was Nyquist that reached around and poked the puck over to Justin Abdelkader, who put it in. 5-5.
He ends a 12-game goal-scoring drought. I was kidding when I said 8-7. We got 13 and a half to go in the third period.
I thought you were prophetic.
What if both coaches call timeout simultaneously? Here's Nyquist with it. 8 goals in his last 7 games, including a hat trick this afternoon. And Orlov throws that ahead. Abdelkader off ahead for Zetterberg as they swing in 3 wide, and Ovechkin took a run at Abdelkader at the line. In comes Backstrom with a long shot, and Howard makes a stop on that and hangs on.
6:25.
Well, it's Jay's last week with The Tonight Show, and he welcomes new host Jimmy Fallon, along with Matthew McConaughey, Sandra Bullock, and Billy Crystal. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, all new this week, here on NBC.
Not a bad day for that young man right there. Gustav Nyquist. It's the hat trick, and adds a big assist on the last goal.
Kind of an unusual route for him to the NHL. From Sweden through the NCAA, was a Maine Black Bear and led the NCAA in scoring 1 season there. Then gets on that Detroit development train, which always stops in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
It's the proper way to do it if you can. If you can get away and not have injuries and let those young kids develop for a few years.
Now Brouwer belted down by Helm. And Brouwer throws Helm down hard. And that battle continues as Helm steps into Brouwer again. They're wrestling now in the corner. Helm had no stick. Helm gives him another bump. They might go best 4 out of 7, those two, and Brouwer is jawing at Helm.
They're still looking at one another. Now they both end up to the bench.
Play continues as Anderson fires, and Neubert makes the save on him. And now a late slash by Erskine on Joachim Anderson.
Yeah, there's frustration on both teams. They've taken the lead. It's been tied, but the power plays have been so important in these games that I think both teams should try and do what they can to stay on the box. For a few years. I mean, look at the battle here. They just keep going. Keep going. Brouwer with a takedown. Helm goes down. No call there. He's looking around. Doesn't have a stick. Now he goes in for the tackle. And then finds his stick. And then as they go from there, they made it all the way to the benches before they finally separated and went to their respective benches.
And shockingly, no National Hockey League rules were broken in that exchange. Here's
I didn't
Orlov.
realize that.
It was all legalized in the offseason. You might have missed it.
I did.
Now Strachan has it taken away, and a centering pass for Sheahan. Loses Yurko with a shot stopped by Neubert. And Yurko sprawls on the wraparound try. Here comes Chimera back the other way. For Fair. Eric Fair to Joel Ward. Ward sends it back in front. The pass just missed Fair. 25-25. The shot's on goal. And remember, Detroit didn't have one in the first 8.5 minutes of the game. It was already 2-0 Washington at that point.
Now the point you made earlier, though, Gord, is an important one. Ovechkin has not been a factor in this game, but this man right here has been a huge factor. Here's the power play. It was 2-0 at that point until Nyquist puts in the rebound to make it a 2-1 game. And then the beautiful setup from Zetterberg, and Nyquist scores his second power play goal. And then this one to start the third period, again Zetterberg with a beautiful pass, and Nyquist with the redirection, and then he added an assist on the fifth Detroit goal.
So a tidy 4-point game going for him. He got called up from Grand Rapids when the injury started to hit and scored in his first 2 games up. And that really solidified a roster spot for him. He was the last cut of the Red Wings in training camp.
Now, Mike Babcock is spoken so often about Nyquist, and he talks about if he could just remember to keep skating and keep moving and being involved in the play, he thinks he could be a dominant player, and we've seen that today. Hard on the boards, making plays, going to the areas you have to go to score goals, stick on. You see the skill that he has, and Mike Babcock sees all of that and has just continued to try and push him to play at this level. He hasn't taken one step up in his level of play today. He's taken 3.
Face off back in the Detroit zone. Backstrom against Zetterberg off the draw. Ovechkin with a shot that deflects high. One thing with Ovechkin, it doesn't take long for him to be a factor in the game. Backstrom works it back in front. Nick Backstrom with a puck on a string. Back to Alter with a long shot. Hit wide by Ovechkin. And now Nyquist with it. Works ahead with Zetterberg and Abdelkader. The drop for Abdelkader. In he comes. Sends it backdoor for Zetterberg, and that was knocked away by Carlson. Oh, that's a tap in for Zetterberg. Here they come again. Zetterberg in across the line. Drops it off to Nyquist. Back in front. Shovels it down for Zetterberg, and that goes wide. A penalty coming. It's going to go to the Red Wings. A trip on Henrik Zetterberg, and Washington's going to the power play.
And as soon as you mention Ovechkin, what happens? You're right, Gord. It doesn't take much for him. Now, Adam Oates was saying yesterday, I said, what's been the biggest improvement of Ovechkin's game since you took over as coach? He says his ability to go to the front of the net. And he just misses there, and then there's the trip. Down goes Alzner, Henrik Zetterberg, who's been so tremendous in this game for Detroit today, and now he's got to set one out, and he is also one of their better penalty killers.
Right, Johansson, Brouwer, and Chimera up front. Ovechkin at the point, along with Carlson. The Red Wings control on the face-off. And DeKaiser sends it back to the Washington line.
Now here's the thing that Detroit did well. The last power play Washington had, they broke up plays at the blue line. Not this time.
Here's Chimera trying to throw that back. Johansson tips it back to Carlson with some time. And back down to Johansson. Ovechkin being shadowed there by Helm. Helm staying with him step for step. In comes Johansson. Back in front for Brouwer. That pass is intercepted by Joachim Anderson. And he fires it down.
Now again, they're taking Ovechkin away. And the hesitation by either Johansson on that side or Backstrom to go to the net and take the shot. And so they're just staying there and they're not getting their opportunities.
Loose puck to Eriksson. He fires it down. Jonathan Eriksson, another player who's a homegrown Detroit Red Wing. They've got 20 players dressed as usual today, Joe. 16 of them are homegrown Red Wings, either drafted or signed as undrafted free agents.
How many have done it better, if anybody, have they? And they lost Jim Nill this year to Dallas.
Now Ward plays it back to Carlson, tees it right back up. In comes Backstrom, all alone in front, elects not to shoot. Now he does. It goes off the leg. Glendening was standing right next to Ovechkin. He won't go anywhere near the puck. His job is to shadow number 8. Now Eriksson throws down Erat. The puck to the line, but not out. Here's Ovechkin with it, trying to glove it down. Glendening steps into him. Erat flips it there to Backstrom. 25 seconds to go in the power play. Ward sends it down in front, and that deflects wide. Now Ward steps up, plays the puck to Erat, across to Carlson. John Carlson down to Backstrom. Here he comes. Throws it back in front. In comes Erat. Martin Erat works in front and shoots. Howard got a piece of that through the traffic, and Drew Miller fires it down the ice.
That was a better effort from that man. Erat at least attacked the net. And prior to that, those two passes, one to the slot, one to Ovechkin, were taken away. Then you have to attack the net.
Under 8 to go in the third period of a 5-5 game. Joachim Andersen being watched there by Connor Carrick. And now a bouncing puck at the line to Kaiser to Alfredson. Daniel Alfredson, a furious pace here in the third period. Alfredson back to Kyle Quincy with a shot. Hit Erskine up high. Loose puck. Joachim Andersen fires that wide. And now Erskine to the line. Kyle Quincy in a race as Jay Beagle was bearing in on him. And that's the emergency swing by Quincy to knock it away. Joachim Andersen to Daniel Alfredson. Here he comes. Alfredson shoots off the leg of Orlov. Stepping up is Brendan Smith. And Wellman taken down by Smith. And the bouncing puck corralled by Dmitry Orlov. Hope the game later today is as good as this one.
Wow, it's been terrific, hasn't it? Changes of momentum. Remember, Detroit didn't get a shot for the first 8.5 minutes of this game. It was all Washington in the first period. Not anymore.
Aaron Volpatti chips it in for Washington. Not much time for the fourth line for the two teams today.
25 shots on goal apiece, 5-5.
Now Brouwer with a shot off the stick of Yurko. It's up and out of play. 6:37 to go in the third period. The NHL and NBC back to Washington in a moment.
All tied, third period here in Washington. Detroit is elected to not allow Ovechkin to beat them on the power play. So eventually, it's a 4-on-3 with the other players that are on the ice. Now you've got Backstrom over on the other side. He loves to pass, but he's got to attack the net and take some shots. He waits too long. Erat ends up with normally a winger. Now you watch him. He this time tries to get to the front of the net. And again, Detroit does a good job defensively blocking the shot, but they have just said Ovechkin will not beat us on the power play. And the penalty killing is working now. It wasn't earlier.
Now at the face-off win, Chimera throws it down to Ward. And loose behind the goal, poked back in front of Jonathan Eriksson, plays out to Abdelkader. Rink wide for Nyquist to Zetterberg. Henrik Zetterberg works his way in. Zetterberg still with it. Got assists on the last 3 Detroit goals. Jonathan Eriksson fires, save made by Neuberg. Loose puck behind the goal, Abdelkader throws it back in front. And Kronwall goes back down to Abdelkader. Tied up there by Beagle. And sent sprawling. And the puck loose in the corner. Zetterberg reaching for it. Ward pokes it out, and Cromwell has to hustle back. Again, Chimera is quick. And into the corner they go. Zetterberg picks out the loose puck. Henrik Zetterberg winds his way in. The long shot stopped by Neuberg. The rebound squirted away, and Carrick plays it back out. Back down to the cap zone is Jonathan Erskine. And Helm with it. Had it knocked down, and Quincy fires it right back in as Neuberg stops it up behind the goal for Carrick. His clearing attempt went off the leg of Darren Helm and wound up in the seats. The NHL and NBC returns to Washington, D.C. after this. Here's what's coming up prior to the Olympic break tomorrow on NBCSN. The Avalanche battle the Devils. Tuesday on NBCSN, the Islanders here to take on the Capitals. Our Wednesday night rivalry matchup presented by Coors Light. The Penguins take on the Sabres. Coverage of all 3 games starts at 6:30 Eastern Time with NHL Live. Download the app or watch live online at NBCSports.com/live-extra. This is the start of a 4-game homestand for the Washington Capitals. The Red Wings go home to face the Vancouver Canucks on Monday night. The Canucks will get John Tortorella back behind their bench after serving his suspension. Carlson to Erat. Drops it back to Carl Alder, being trailed there by Gustav Nyquist, who's a central figure in the drama this afternoon. De Keyser takes a whack at that loose puck. It bounces down in front. And Erat almost had a break. And Nyquist with it now. Poke check there by Alder. 27-25. The shot's on goal for Detroit. Nyquist looks across to Joachim Anderson. Anderson now being watched there by Carlson as Neuvert plays it behind for Alder. Carl Alder up for Brouwer. That pass misses. And that's an icing charge against the Caps at the end of a long shift for Washington.
No, I was just going to say they wanted to make a change. Troy Brouwer was on his way out. Ovechkin had just come off the ice. And now for Adam Oates, a quick conversation with the referee. And face-offs we've talked about have been so important in this game. They've led to a number of different goals, and now this Washington group out there tired, important for them to win the face-off and try and get a change.
Fair did, but it wasn't fair, so to speak. And they'll have to do it over again as Helm steps in for the draw. And Fair wins it back to Alder. Eric Fair takes a whack at that. Brouwer trying to poke it out. It goes back into the Washington bench.
That gives Washington an opportunity to change. Get some fresh players on the ice.
But Darren Helm has really had a tough go the last couple of years, hasn't he, Joe? For an 18-month stretch, he played one game.
It's and he's such an important player to this team with his speed and his penalty killing and the way he plays the game. He started the season, missed the first 14 of the regular season, then played 16, then missed 11. Really been a tough go.
Scored his first 6 career goals in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The only player who's ever done that. Now Brouwer fights for the loose puck. And Strachan trying to kick that away from Helm. Pulls his stick free. At the line, held by Brendan Smith, who plays it right back down. How about the year Brendan Smith's brother Riley is having in Boston, leads that team in goal scoring.
Nobody thought about him when they made the trade with Dallas, did they?
He was the and part of that deal. And now Johansson with it for the Capitals. 3.5 to go in the third period. Smith goes back. Beagle takes it away from him. Jonathan Ericsson steps in. And now picked up by Ward. Joel Ward. Back at the point. Erskine with a shot that goes off the leg and bounces right back to Tatar. And Thomas Tatar had that poked away. It's still onside for Washington. Beagle picks it down low. And the bouncing puck goes to Riley Sheahan. Across to Ericsson. Zetterberg to Tatar. Thomas Tatar in shoots. Neuvert the save. And the rebound batted away by Carrot. Now Beagle looks ahead to Ward. He's got Chimera with him. And the bank pass ahead to Jason Chimera. Sends it back in front. The pass is out of the reach of Connor Carrick. Ward back on it. He's taken down by Zetterberg. And the battle continues in the corner as Zetterberg gets bumped there by Chimera. Nyquist to Kronwall. And away comes Abdelkader. Washington has gone to overtime, a league-leading 20 times this year. Loose puck in front. Abdelkader with a chance. That dribbles wide. And now Chimera can't knock it out. Abdelkader trying to play it back in and finally left the zone. And Zetterberg looks for De Keyser. Danny Kaiser with a shot, and Neuvert knocked that away. And now Quincy. And Erat streaking in on him, and Abdelkader comes back for the loose puck.
And just missing the pass as Ovechkin was going straight up the middle. Erat just missed him.
In comes Abdelkader with it now. Throws it down behind the goal for Helm. Darren Helm to Quincy. And Tyson Strachan picks it back up. Under 2 to go in the third period. Erat to the Detroit line. Quincy ahead for Alfredson. He's got Anderson with him. And Orlov heads back. Eric Fair battling there with Daniel Alfredson. Joachim Anderson wins the puck in front. A bouncing puck got away from Alfredson. And now Fair being tied up by Sheahan. And Fair battles through it. Sheahan had it knocked away as Brouwer's on it now. Into the open corner. Back Marcus Johansson. In for Brouwer. And Jonathan Ericsson across to Nicholas Kronwall. That skipped away from him. Brouwer has it. And finally the Red Wings break it out. As Thomas Yurko sends that down to the Washington zone. Final minute of the third period. And now Zetterberg throws that down as Carlson knocked it away. Tipped off by Zetterberg. In comes Henrik Zetterberg. And a great defensive play there by Jay Beagle. Knocks the puck free.
That's tough to do. Knock Zetterberg off his skates. Beagle did a nice job.
Bodies flying everywhere as Chimera and Quincy went at it. Icing waved off and it's fired back out of the Washington zone. Carrick, long lead pass for Chimera. Chipped down to the Detroit end as Ericsson is back for it. And Kronwall looks ahead to Abdelkader. Abdelkader shoots Neuvert the save. The rebound goes wide. And now Zetterberg back on it. Henrik Zetterberg loose in the corner. Plays that back to the point to Kronwall. Final seconds. Ericsson shoots. It goes off the end board. Hits it by Neuvert to save in tight. On Nyquist who almost had his fourth. And this game is going to overtime, which all three meetings this season between Detroit and Washington have. And they'll battle for that crucial third point. Neuvert shuts it down on Nyquist in the final seconds of regulation time. 5-5 the score. Back with overtime on the NHL and NBC after this. Overtime is presented by Fast Acting Advil. Gustav Nyquist almost had his fourth goal of the game in the dying seconds of the third period. Joel Ward as a pair for Washington. And there is the man we have yet to hear from much today.
Well, Detroit has done an excellent job on him in every aspect of the game. But you better keep an eye on him in overtime, especially 4-on-4 with a little bit more room on the ice. Adam Oates waited to see who Detroit was starting on this 4-on-4. We'll probably see Ovechkin out next shift.
And Connor Carrick brings it in, throws it ahead for Eric Fair. The first 2 minutes were decided by shootouts. And now Ericsson back with it. Fifth time in the last 8 games, Detroit has gone to OT, and those points are pressure better for the Red Wings. Helm drops it off to Alfredsson. Daniel Alfredsson back to the point to Jonathan Ericsson. A long shot, and that hit Helm in front as Johansson picks up the loose puck for Washington.
Backstrom out. Ovechkin getting ready to go out next.
And here comes Johansson across the line for Washington. And back the other way come the Red Wings. Zetterberg along with Nyquist. Henrik Zetterberg works it back in front. Tipped on goal by Nyquist, and Neuvert makes a terrific stop. Gustav Nyquist might make the Olympics on this game alone.
Been terrific, hasn't he? He takes down Ovechkin there.
And Ovechkin didn't like that much. And now DeKaiser back with it. And Ovechkin glares back at Nyquist.
Nyquist is having one of those games confidence-wise where he just doesn't want to stay on the bench. And why not, the way he's playing and making plays.
In comes Tatar with a drive that goes off the stick of Alsner and out of play.
Now Zetterberg as well. We talked about Ovechkin, and here's Zetterberg with the pass. Beautiful pass. There's the redirection by Nyquist and a good save, and then Nyquist comes back. That might have been one that was missed. Legs to legs. Ovechkin went down.
Abdelkader in for the face-off against Irat. Wins it back to Jakob Kindl. Steps around Brouwer, and a penalty being called off the face-off.
On
Trip
Kindl.
is the call.
On Kindl, he was lined up front, and he's going to get called for either the trip or the interference.
Now Brendan Smith is going off.
Or Smith, pardon me.
Yeah, Smith goes off, and he's giving the argument to referee Dan O'Rourke. And so a power play in overtime, and there it is.
Yeah, you see the stick got the skates of Troy Brouwer trying to get through.
So the Capitals will send out Ovechkin, Backstrom, Brouwer, and Carlson for the power play in overtime.
Yeah, Detroit did not use their timeout. That was just a very quick, about a 7-second segment of directions from Mike Babcock to his penalty killers.
21st overtime game of the year for Washington to lead the league. And a chance now to win it with a power play in OT. Backstrom against Zetterberg on the faceoff.
Red Wings
Off the draw, Carlson had it knocked away by Zetterberg.
Well, what a play. Zetterberg lost the face-off and then quickly turned and got him his stick in perfect position to make the defensive play.
Backstrom for Brouwer. Rink wide, he goes for Carlson. Red Wings have focused on taking Ovechkin away on the previous Capital power play. In comes Backstrom, loose at the side of the goal. Nick Backstrom across to Ovechkin, shoots at the side of the goal. Now Brouwer back with it to Backstrom. Stepping up is Carlson. To Backstrom. Here's Ovechkin. Walks in, shoots and dribbles down in front. Jimmy Howard knocked it away. That shot broke the stick of Jonathan Ericsson.
And now on the 4-on-3, you cannot play Ovechkin as they did on the 5-on-4 and just assign one player to take care of him.
Backstrom throws it back in front. And the bouncing puck knocked away by Dan DeKeyser and just squeezes it out of the zone. Now Carlson back with it to Ovechkin. Minute to go in this power play. Alexander Ovechkin takes the return pass from Brouwer. Feeds across to Carlson. Down low to Backstrom. Carlson. Ovechkin tees it up and scores! Alexander Ovechkin! Game-winning goal in overtime! And the Caps win it 6-5! He was quiet for 62 minutes and 23 seconds, and then kaboom.
Yeah, no, 4-on-3. You can't just look at Ovechkin. You've got to watch everybody else. That gives Ovechkin more time. They played it to the other side first. So they forced two Detroit Red Wings over to one side. Now they come back where there's only one player on that side. He uses DeKeyser as a screen and absolutely rips it past Jimmy Howard to give Washington the overtime win and an important 2 points.
15th career overtime goal for Alexander Ovechkin, and the Washington Capitals are back within a point of the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. What a game here in D.C. The Caps led by 2 goals, 3 separate times. The Red Wings finally equalized. Gustav Nyquist had a hat trick for Detroit. And then Alexander Ovechkin, with his league-leading 39th goal of the year, gives the Capitals the 6-5 win as they close out the season series with the Detroit Red Wings with a shootout win, a shootout loss, and now this OT win. And the Caps start a crucial 4-game homestand with a win they needed badly. All right, Joe Micheletti has the man of the moment for Washington.
That wasn't easy, was it? It was difficult for you to get chances today.
Yeah, they play pretty tight on our line, and they do a pretty good job. But I think it was an interesting game, great battle for both teams. So I'm pretty sure the fans really like it.
What were you saying to your teammates as this game kept going? You'd take the lead, they'd come back, you'd take the lead, the importance of the points. What was your message to them?
Just stay focused, just play our game. Don't give them any chances. But they're a good team to give them opportunity, just like what we give them. But it's nice to get 2 points and a big spot.
I know your team has been some good games, some bad games. What's it going to take to go down this stretch for your team to get in the playoffs?
Well, right now it doesn't matter how you play, you just need the points, and because it's on the standings, we're still pretty tight and with everybody, so every point counts.
When you got out there for that 4-on-3 in overtime, they had played so tight on the 5-on-4s, not giving you any shots. Did it just bring a smile to your face, thinking now maybe you're going to get a little bit more room?
Yeah, it's kind of important to know, they're going to put one player against me, but it's good for different players that you have to use it. It's basically 4-on-3 on the right side. So we do a great job, I think, in power play.
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
You guys.
Gord.
They took a goal away from Ovechkin on Friday night, changed the scoring to Joel Ward. No taking that away tonight. The overtime winner for the Washington Capitals, and we'll be back with more from DC on the NHL and NBC after this.